जो अगस्त में जो बहुत ही बड़ा एक सैलाब आया जिसने कि पूरे इस एरिया को अफेक्ट किया, दैट मीन्स इट रोज समथिंग लाइक 8 or 9 फीट फ्रॉम द एक्चुअल लेवल जो अभी है। और इससे ये हुआ कि जितने भी गांव इसके साथ साथ थे जो नॉर्मली भी अफेक्टेड होते थे लेकिन अब बिल्कुल तबाह हो गए। हम दरिया खान शेख गांव में जा रहे हैं जहां पे हमने 2010 के फ्लड्स के बाद घर और इमारतें बनाई थी। हम देखने जा रहे हैं कि 2013 के फ्लड्स के बाद उनका क्या हाल रहा है। क्या भाई, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, क्या हाल फिर? हाँ,
सलाम वालेकुम, खुश सलाम वालेकुम।
चल के देखें कि कैसे आप उस तरफ आपका क्या हाल है।
जी जी।
आप इस पे निशान लगा के मुझे बताओ ना, इस पे बताओ कहाँ तक पानी आया था। ये इसके ऊपर चला गया था?
जी जी बिल्कुल, इसके ऊपर का बिल्कुल इधर तक आया था।
यहाँ तक पानी आ गया था। हाँ,
ये मिट्टी जो हमने दोबारा लगाई है, ये सारे का सारा दोबारा लगाया।
ये मरम्मत आप इसकी अभी कर रहे हो? हमारे सेंटर जो बने थे इनसे कोई फायदा पहुँचा है आप लोगों को?
हाँ,
तकरीबन कितने बंदे वहाँ पे जाके रह सके थे इसके अंदर?
इसमें 12 से 15 20 बंदे इधर गए।
20 बंदे और सारा सामान भी?
सारा सामान भी।
हाँ।
सामान इकट्ठा किया था।
हाँ,
15 से 20 बंदे इधर रहे।
एक में रहते। ऐसी जगह हमें चाहिए हमेशा फ्लड एरियाज के अंदर जहाँ पे एलिवेटेड हों, so that people can take refuge. So that's the reason why I designed structures that were on stilts, and this we could do with bamboo quite easily. This gives you shade in the summer scorching months, and the upper level we began to use as a women's center. So during the floods, since the lower section is clear, flood waters can flow through quite easily. And if, God forbid, the levels rise to 7 or 8 feet, at least the people will be quite safe on the upper level. And in this way, they do not get displaced, and they also do not lose all their belongings. If they were displaced, they would take them several months before they could come back and start again.
तो हमने 5-6 लड़के एक साथ मिलके ये एक भारी वजन भी उठाया।
हाँ।
एक साथ करके एक ये जो सेंटर है इसमें मेरे ख्याल से ये 5-6 घर का ये सामान इसमें रखा है।
आ गया। हाँ। और ये इसमें क्या क्या सामान तो काफी भारी है ये?
हाँ, ये भारी है। इसमें मेरे ख्याल में बर्तन होंगे और ये कंबल वगैरह जो भी कुछ मिले थे वो भी इसमें।
और खाने पीने की चीजें भी मेरे ख्याल है ना इसके अंदर?
हाँ, इसमें वो खाने पीने के भी बर्तन भी हैं।
तो ये तो काफी लोड आप लोगों ने इस पे डाला है और ये फिर भी ये संभल गया है
हाँ,
ना?
संभल गया है,
सही रहा है ये।
बहुत वजन है इस पे हमने रखा है।
हाँ।
जी।
इसी जो हमने रिसर्च की थी ना तो हमें यही पता चला था कि दीवारें नॉर्मली सही हैं। दी ओनली प्रॉब्लम इज़ द बेस जहाँ पे इरोजन होती है। अदर प्रॉब्लम इज़ द टॉप ऑफ द वॉल जहाँ से कि पानी अंदर जाता है। और उसकी वजह ये कि छतें जो है वो बड़ी ख़राब हैं। सो यू कैन सी हियर टू द roofs have all gone and the walls are collapsing because of the becoming exposed to water and everything because the roofs are gone. आप अपने यहाँ लोगों को तैयार करें। अब वक्त आ गया कि आपकी मदद हुई थी, अब आप इनकी मदद करो
इंशाल्लाह।
ठीक है ना? क्या ख्याल है? मेरे ख्याल में ये बड़ा अच्छा रहेगा, है ना? आपकी मदद हमने की, अब आप इनकी करो। आगे नेक्स्ट हो तो ये लोग आगों की मदद करें। ऐसे ही काम चलेगा क्योंकि कुछ नहीं पता हमें कहाँ से हुकूमत के पास वसीले हैं कि नहीं, वो आए कि नहीं, पहुँचे कि नहीं आप लोगों तक, है ना? तो फिर इसलिए खुद ही करना होगा।
खुद ही करना पड़ेगा इंशाल्लाह, खुद ही करेंगे।
सही बात है।
Water is a problem for everyone here, so the farmers in this village have joined forces. With help from the German development aid agency GIZ, they're building a weir. It's meant to slow the river down as it flows towards the ocean. The sacks aren't made of plastic, but of biodegradable cassava starch.
All the villagers are behind this project to solve our water problem. We tried it before with cement, but that's a dead material that's destroyed by the water. And that's why we're using bamboo and other natural material. That's why we call it a living weir.
The weir slows the river down so that more water trickles into the surrounding nature, allowing it to rejuvenate. Saplings on the edge of the dam will hopefully take root and lend further support to the living weir. The local community is strengthened by work together on the project. Everyone pitches in. He says the dam is meant to hold back the floods during the monsoon. That would prevent fertile soil being washed away into the ocean. And during the dry season, it should help to raise the water table. Somdek says nature can regenerate itself, but only if we humans work in harmony with it. The dam builders get support from scientists. A little way upstream, a water expert shows his students the results of erosion. A massive landslide years ago built a natural dam. The scientist studies the impact of such river fortifications.
Of course, there are downsides too. If the river flows more slowly, there might be more mosquitoes that transmit diseases. But then there might be more fish that eat their larvae. We have to understand how the ecosystem works. Then we can respond to the dangers.
Monoculture cropping is a danger for the water cycle. The lush greenery here is actually rubber plantations. The rubber trees take a lot of water from the soil. Rawat Prechawai inherited a large rubber plantation from his father, but he didn't want to be a rubber producer. So he cut down the trees and cultivated a real forest instead.
I finance my forest project by selling fruit. These longan here are not quite ripe yet. Do you see the ants? They prove that we don't use any chemicals. Everything is completely organic. We might have to wait for a few days until they're ripe and sweet as sugar.
His neighbour stuck with rubber. Business isn't good right now. 1 kilogram of the sticky sap fetches just 1.25 euros. The trees on the plantation are in neat rows, a sign of monoculture and not biodiversity.
If you compare the ecosystems, the soil on a rubber plantation is much drier than that in my forest. The roots of the rubber trees don't go deep into the earth either. A strong storm can uproot them. But the sturdier trees with their stronger roots in my forest can withstand storms.
Meanwhile, work continues on the dam. Now, school children are lugging the sacks. Many are simply enjoying the cool water. By the late afternoon, the weir is deserted. Farmer Wanchat Samdang wants to check progress.
We began working on this dam early this year. We've finished almost 80%. I think by the end of the year we'll be done. And then all the villages at the Thadi River here will benefit from our living weir.
Now,
Colombians used to build houses out of guadua centuries ago, poor people's houses, which tended to fall apart after a few years. But with modern techniques, bamboo buildings are pretty robust. The School for Life project was founded by the German-Colombian architect Andrés Bepla, who also designed the complex. The aim of the project is to help people help themselves, to provide a basic education so they can live their lives and earn money in an upright and decent way. Funding came from Germany and the Colombian government.
I came here to create a different kind of architecture. I said we have to do modern architecture using this traditional natural material, bamboo. Guadua just springs up all over, like a weed. The homes they build here are just little boxes, rabbit hutches for people. And for security, people lock themselves into gated compounds, surrounded by a fence, with a guard at the entrance and guard dogs, just to be safe. And inside these compounds, you have all these little boxes that pass for houses, small houses in rows, so everybody has his own house. But inside these homes, you can hardly move. The natural materials that were commonly used in early times are disappearing. And what I want to do is bring these materials back into use. There is a Colombian way of doing architecture, and one key element is bamboo.
In the workshop next to the school, youngsters are learning to work with guadua.
In my village, there are no bamboo houses, at least not yet. I really enjoy my training here. One day, I'll be able to build houses myself with guadua and teach other boys in my village.